What's going on, folks? This is your host, GBs, and welcome to Into the Squared Circle podcast. Welcome to the Weekend Insider. I'm a little late, and for good reasons, because yours truly had a little birthday over the weekend. So thank you for the fine messages over the weekend. Had a great weekend, of course. Went to a show this past weekend on my birthday weekend. I will talk about that on my secondary podcast, a Lesson and Headbanging podcast with GBs. If you're a fan of rock, hard rock, and heavy metal. And I just did my Kiss review on the concert when they came through Chicago. They had their final farewell show in New York City at Madison Square Garden, baby, over the weekend. And of course, the show I went to here in the Southlands of Chicago, the legendary thrash band Exodus, metalcore finest, fit for an autopsy, young upcoming band Undeath, and Darkest Hour, if you're a fan of old school hardcore. But good stuff, man. Again, this is a pro wrestling podcast, but again, check out the other podcasts if you're a fan of rock and heavy metal. All right, got the commercial out of the way. So where we're going to talk about the Weekend Insider, same old crap. Nothing crazy over the weekend when it comes down to pro wrestling, but I will give you guys my top highlight for WWE SmackDown this past Friday on Fox, and I have my top highlight and on an AEW Collision, which was just I guess is fuck it. I'm not gonna spoil it, so I'm gonna shut up. Cheers to you. I hope you had a great weekend. Take a swig. And if it's Monday, you're going back to work. I hope you had a great work week. And let's kick off the week strong as we're on the road to Christmas. Christmas mania running wild on you. Okay, I'm going to shut the hell up. So now I'm going to share my screen on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, you get the visual. You get to see my beautiful eyes. My beautiful, I don't know what color my eyes are, but, okay, this is getting awkward, but okay, let's look at the screen. Let's look at the screen. Let's look at the screen. There we go. Don't quit your day job, G. Let's look at it here. The numbers. Let's look at the numbers. Okay, slow computer. Here we go. So this is what went down over the weekend. One fan at a WWE live event this past weekend had all they could handle on Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. During WWE's Sunday Stunner house show in Newark, Delaware, yesterday, December 4th, a fan jumped the guardrail, attempted to go after Waller and Theory. However, the ringside security was able to apprehend him, and the fan quickly and ushered him away from the ringside. So, hey, you know the rules, wrestling fans. Again, this podcast from a wrestling fan to the wrestling fans. Rule number one, never cross the barricades. Because once you cross them, it's fair game, baby. Now, if you pass security and you get to the superstar, don't be surprised they'll whoop your ass. Come on, man. Don't push the boundaries. Do not cross the guardrails. All right, over the weekend, Ricochet returned to action for the first time over nearly a month. Ricochet wrestled at WWE house show in Bangor, Maine on Saturday night, this past Saturday, December 2nd. Defeating Bronson Reed, Ricochet won with a schoolboy pin after avoiding a senton from Reed. It was Ricochet's first match since November 6th episode of Raw. Now, if you don't know, Ricochet had a concussion actually right around that time. So there's a reason why Ricochet was out, because he had a concussion, so he was in concussion protocol. Okay, so WWE has announced a United States Championship tournament to crown the new number one contender to Logan's Paul title, which was announced this past Friday on SmackDown. 8 competitors will take part in the tournament, with the winner facing Logan Paul for the U.S. title at a date yet to be announced. Here's the current competitors: Bobby Lashley, Karrion Kross, Dragon Lee, Santos Escobar, Kevin Owens, Grayson Waller, Austin Theory, and one NXT star to be announced will be the participants. So another tournament in WWE. Are you shocked? All right, let's talk about numbers here, folks. Talk about numbers. Let's crunch down the numbers. New Japan Pro Wrestling has kicked off, or at least in the midst of the World Tag Leagues. Here's the current standings. Block A, we got Shane Hayes, Mikey Nichols with 10 points. Tomohiro Ishii and Toru Yano's at 8 points. Alex Coughlin and Gabe Kidder, 8 points. Shota Umino and Ren Narita, 6 points. Great Khan and Hinare, 6 points. Kaito Katayami and Royal Aoiya is at 4 points. Evil and Takahashi's at 4 points. And Bishop Khan and Toa Leona from the House of Tortures or House of Pain or whatever the name. They're at 2 points from AEW. So they're right now in the World Tag League. So right now, Shane Hayes and Mikey Nichols are leading the A block. Let's talk about the B block and the World Tag Leagues tournament. Lance Archer and Alex Zane leads the B block with 8 points. Taichi and Yuta Uemura is at 8 points. Hikuleo and El Phantasmo is at 8 points. We got three strong teams with 8 points. Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi is at 7 points. Yotsuya, Yoda Tajitsu, and Zanta Kanda Jr. is at 6 points. Atlantis Jr. and Sobrano Jr. is at 5 points. Bad Luck Fale and Jack Bonza is at 4 points. And on the bottom of the list, which is surprising, veterans, the legends in New Japan, Yuji Nagata and Minoru Suzuki is at 2 points. Wow. So there you go. Is your B block, and there's your total of New Japan World Tag Leagues tournament. All right, let's talk about AEW's and their tournament. The Continental Classic, which will be featured on my top highlights for AEW Collision. The Gold League. So the Gold League hasn't changed yet. This is from this past Wednesday on Dynamite. Jon Moxley leads the Gold League with 6 points. Swerve Strickland with 6 points. Jay White, Switchblades at 3 points. Roosh is at 3 points. Jay Lethal's at 0 points, man. Yikes. And Mark Briscoe, Reach for the Sky Boss, at 0 points. All right, the Blue League. Bad boy Brody King's leading the Blue League with 6 points. Bryan Danielson, 3 points. Andrade El Idolo, 3 points. Claudio Castagnoli, 3 points. Eddie Kingston, 0 points. And Danny Boy Garcia, Shake Those Hips, at 0 points. So there we go on that. Now we're back on me, baby. That's where it belongs to. So let's talk about the numbers here really quick here. Also not featured in the slideshow. So Friday Night SmackDown has reached 2 million viewers on Fox this past Friday. So we got that updated. AEW Rampage bumped up to 348,000. Anybody bitching about that, right? So there's that. All right. So we got that out of the way. Let's talk about top highlight for WWE SmackDown this past Friday on Fox. So my top highlight was the very ending of SmackDown, and there was some decent stuff on SmackDown, but nothing to write home about. But if there was something that kind of stood out, it was Randy Orton, because Randy Orton had to make a decision. Will he show up on SmackDown exclusively, or will he be a Raw product? As in, Randy Orton showed up and returned back to the WWE as a free agent. Now, will he sign with Raw, or will he join SmackDown? Well, he made a decision, but let's break down the damn segment. So I'm going to shut the hell up, right? I'm going to shut the hell up. And then let's see. Let's get some computer audio here on YouTube and podcasting land. So what? Here we go. Let's start midway through the segment. It was a long ass segment, but let's kick off what's his name from SmackDown, Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce on Raw. They're gonna fight for Randy Orton to see which contract he will sign, courtesy of WWE.
This is electric, and hey, how dare you interrupt me on my show? You better take your hand off of me. Hey, Randy, you are a Monday Night Legend. You belong on Raw. Randy, I can give you the one thing SmackDown can give you. As I said, you belong on Raw. Put your name on this contract, and I will give you the winner of Jey Uso and Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. Randy.
Oh, wait. It just gets better, man. It just gets better. Let's see.
You signed with SmackDown, and I can give you the guys that took you out.
Oh, what a deal. What a deal from Nick Aldis from SmackDown. So, look at that. What a comeback, Nick Aldis. I mean, Adam Pearce tried. He tried, but man, the way Nick Aldis came around, I'll give you the bloodline. Now, remember, Randy Orton said on Raw, he has receipts for the bloodline. He got them lined up. Now, Nick Aldis is handing the bloodline on a platter, a silver spoon to Randy Orton. All he has to do is sign on the dotted line, and the bloodline is all his. So, in the midst of all this chaos, of course, we got someone to come out, right? Oh, WWE is.
Ladies and gentlemen.
There we go. Paul Heyman comes out. And he's like, okay, Randy, I know you got a hitman on every one of the bloodline, but yeah, you're just, there's no way in hell you're going to go through the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. Well, sure enough, Randy Orton got attacked by the bloodline. Who's that? Jimmy Uso, Solo Sikoa. And thankfully enough, LA Knight came out for the save. Even the score. And, well, Randy Orton had a message for Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns. Let's take a listen, courtesy of WWE.com.
You can call Roman Reigns. And you can tell him, Daddy's back.
Yeah, Daddy is back, baby. Here we go, man. Randy Orton not only said that, but he signed for SmackDown. And now he is exclusive to SmackDown, so we can see him every Friday for now on. And right after he signed that, Nick Aldis, I can't remember if he was trying to shake his hand, but either way, Randy Orton thought it was a threat from the bloodline, and he accidentally took out Nick Aldis. I think he RKO'd him, and he's like, oh, shit, I just took out my boss. So, I guess that's the price of signing or arguing to get this guy on your brand. And, well, I guess Adam Pearce lucked out. So, there we go, folks. Yeah, wow. How about that? Nick Aldis. So, SmackDown got CM Punk. And sound like next Friday, we're going to get, I'm sorry, Randy Orton. SmackDown got Randy Orton. Next Friday, we're going to get appearance of CM Punk. His first time back on SmackDown in a long ass time. So we got that going on. So there we go, folks. My top highlight for WWE Raw this past Friday. Again, if you, the fine viewers on YouTube, drop it in the comment section. What did you enjoy this past Friday on SmackDown? If you're listening on the podcast, available on all major podcasting outlets like Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, and more. Hit the subscribe and drop me a DM on Facebook, X, Instagram. And all you have to do is type into the Squared Circle Podcast. Let me know what you guys think. All right, I'm going to settle down. Let's talk about my top highlight for AEW Collision. And I'll be fair. There's some decent matches on Collision. And the top highlight was the AEW Continental Classic. 3 matches. Why not, right? Make it one big bundle. So there's 3 great matches, and we won't spend too much time in all 3 of them. But obviously, the first one to kick off the show was a hell of a match. A hell of a match. And I'm talking about Brody King. Ho, ho, ho. Versus the Swiss Superman, Claudio Castagnoli. Wow, what a match to kick off Collision, man. Those guys beat the living hell out of each other. You know what? Let's play the clip courtesy of AEW.com. Let's play this bad boy, shall we? Let's see what we got.
Oh, wait a minute. Brody caught him. Oh, the pile driver. 1, 2, no.
Oh, what the hell?
Claudio still. But for how much longer? Oh,
Yeah,
there it is. Do it. Gigantic. Brilliant.
Boom. Claudio Castagnoli lost. Brody King got a win. And man, Saturday night was a huge night for the House of Black. Obviously Malachi Black and Buddy Matthews teamed up in a tag team match. Won that. Julia Hart made an appearance to confront Abaddon. So House of Black, boy, oh boy, it was their night. So the House of Collision. Okay, so let's talk about the next match. There are 3 matches on Saturday night and Collision that were part of the Continental Classic. This next one was a pretty decent one. Match number 2. El Andrade El Idolo will face the one-on-one against Daniel Garcia. Time to put the sports entertainer down and become a pro wrestler. Enough of shaking your ass and hips. Let's see what you got. And this is a hell of a match. Hell of a match. Andrade, I'm a big fan of Andrade. Big fan of his style, of course. And you know what? I'm going to shut the hell up. Let's play the clip here, courtesy of AEW.com. Let the match tell the story.
Wow, Garcia got out of that. Still in it. How did he get out of that? And now. That's the kind of grit he's got, Tony. Can he stay out of this? Here he goes. He's got him. Garcia steps through. This is the sharpshooter. Sit down deep. And look how far away Andrade is from the ropes. I know. Come on, Danny.
Here we go.
Come on. What? No, before he got to the ropes. Easy. Oh, no.
Boy, Daddy Magic nipples are getting hurt during this match. Hey, here we go. Andrade win. What a win for Andrade. Holy smokes. Daddy Magic on commentary. I enjoyed it. And like I said, probably made his nipples hard watching his pal Daniel Garcia not strutting for once, not strutting his hips, and actually kicking some ass in the ring. So that's some good shit, man. And I'm glad Andrade advances through the Continental Classic. Let's talk about the main event. The main event was between Bryan Danielson versus Eddie Kingston. That's amazing. I love to see both of those guys beat the living hell out of each other, especially when Danielson has a broken orbital bone around his face, wearing a damn patch, a pirate. So let's talk about the match here. Let's talk about the ending here. It was a hell of a match, and let us dialed in here. And here we go. The match courtesy of AEW.com. Let's crank this bad boy up.
Bryan Danielson.
The American Dream.
Oh, well, I'm going too far here.
And I agree with that chant. Danielson up first. Kingston rises to one knee. The psycho knee.
The psycho knee.
1, 2, 3.
Boom. And Danielson win. Now, what's that mean? What does that actually mean? I remember, if you watch AEW programming, John Moxley, the camera went out. That's all right, folks. I'm still talking. You still hear my voice, right? You still love me, right? I hope you do. Oh boy, what a shit show. Well, since you're hearing the voice of me, and as I'm hearing you, here we go. We're back on live, baby. I look beautiful. All right. So, yeah, man, if you heard, Eddie Kingston's going to put up his titles in the tournament. High risk, high rewards for everybody, because Eddie Kingston's going to put up his New Japan title and Ring of Honor title on the line. And obviously they're going to morph it into one big title. Eddie Kingston lost 2 in a row already. He's still at 0 points. So are we going to see a major comeback of Eddie Kingston in the Continental Classic? Will we see Bryan Danielson fight his way through the Continental Classic with a broken orbital round socket around his eye? So there's a lot of good stuff. And obviously the House of Black is taking control of everything. So I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the Continental Classic. And minus some bad raps going around in the internet world, right? The dirt sheets, because we all believe everything on the internet. A lot of people are unhappy in AEW. We got Matt Hardy is, displayed his frustration on how the Hardys are being booked, and he's really frustrated with the booking in AEW. Britt Baker, Dr. Britt Baker, one of the top female superstars in AEW, have zero TV time the past couple weeks or months. So she's sitting at home. So, a lot of people are venting their frustrations on social media, not being booked properly in AEW. And then QT Marshall, a veteran, quit. He is leaving AEW at the end of the year. So he's finishing up his contract and he's done. Where will QT go to? Could he be a coach at the Performance Center in WWE? Who knows? Can he show up in NXT? Maybe. But, he's another talent that's not being utilized correctly in AEW. So, yeah, man, the tides are turning between AEW and WWE. And, man, is what it is. I do enjoy a couple things in AEW television between Dynamite and Collision. But, now we're starting to see things, a little friction, right? Kushka Okada from New Japan, his contract ends in 2024 as well. So there's a lot of interest between WWE and AEW. So we'll leave that as well. If you're a fan of Okada, where would you like to see him at here in the United States? Would you love to see him in WWE programming? Can you imagine Okada versus Roman Reigns? Again, Okada's going to have to relocate from Japan into the United States. So that's a big move there. That's if New Japan's willing to write a nice check to keep him. And we know Okada's very loyal to New Japan, but the guy's getting up there when it comes to middle age. And it's his chosen if he wants to go to WWE and be utilized correctly, or will he show up in AEW? Maybe I hope there's not booking frustrations like a lot of the other wrestlers are going through right now, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But right now it's I'm enjoying the Continental Classic. Got some good matches. And there we go. There's my top highlight for AEW Collision. You got my top highlight for WWE SmackDown. All right, Raw's currently on the second hour right now as I'm recording this fine program, so I'll have to check it on DVR next morning, and we'll get my midweek review on what the hell's going on in pro wrestling this week as we're on the road to Christmas. All right, folks, thank you so much for watching on YouTube. Thank you. Listen right here on the podcast. Again, podcasts available on major podcasting outlets like Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. If you're driving in the car, you're in the bathroom, taking a dump, taking a shower, or who knows what you're doing, just pop it in your favorite podcasting outlet, type in Into the Squared Circle Podcast, hit the subscribe, and there we go, folks. Until next episode, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy wrestling. Bye-bye, everybody.